During the 1980s, SNK was well known for producing wartime video games and had released several arcade quarter munchers employing a military theme, and other than Athena, is pretty much what I had associated the acronym named company with. 1985's Tank was one of these arcade games that boasted of a Warzone aesthetic, where you commandeer a bone-crushing metal vehicle armed with the cannon, laying waste to anything that regrettably crosses its path. This arcade would be the basis for the NES game Iron Tank, The Invasion of Normandy, released in 1988. While not a direct port of the aforementioned Quarter Gobbler, many of Iron Tank's mechanics were derived directly from the 1985 machine. In what resembles an Ikari Warriors-like overhead shooter only in a heavily armored vehicle, Iron Tank may seem to be just that on the surface, but is actually a much deeper game once thrust onto the shores of Normandy. You assume the role of Paul, codenamed Iron Snake. Boy, these old games sure love their phallic references.
Might as well just be a wrecked cock.
With your objective to break through the front lines and to infiltrate and destroy enemy headquarters. Your tank can be maneuvered in 8 different directions, as can its gun turret, which is rotated by holding the B button and using the directional pad to aim. This without question poses the biggest challenge in Iron Tank, and will take some getting used to. The B button also fires a machine gun from the front, but is really only effective versus ground troops, although I did refrain from using bullets against foot soldiers for the most part in favor of crushing them under 50 tons of iron. It's much more satisfying grinding grunts into bratwursts under pulverizing treads anyway. Your cannon is the best way to decimate the enemy. You'll encounter various panzers throughout the German stronghold, and bases fortified with gun turrets en route to the main HQ. While your initial rounds are more than adequate to inflict plenty of damage, they can be augmented by various power-ups collected throughout. V icons allow for rapid fire, F pickups double the damage inflicted by your projectiles in addition to piercing anything they come into contact with. Bs are bombshells that not only double your attack power, but also explode when reaching their maximum range, which can be increased with the L power-up. All of these weapons can be combined in order to unleash Uncle Sam's ultimate fury onto those nefarious Krauts. These weapons have to be equipped by accessing the subscreen and selecting each one. I actually find this mechanic to be a bit redundant, as it can get annoying having to access the menu every time you want to upgrade your firepower. Why the hell would you not want your projectiles at their strongest at all times? I guess since each has a limited amount of ammo, as indicated by the red meter here, you may want to ration your pickups for later use, but I prefer to equip each immediately. Your weapons carry over to your next life after all, and even when you continue. This includes the extremely rare but useful screen-clearing smart bombs. The submenu also displays a map which shows your current location. One of the cool things about Iron Tank is that you can take multiple paths to reach your goal, which gives you the option to choose a different route with each playthrough, encouraging replay. While some paths may be longer than others, shorter ones will oftentimes pit you up against a much stronger resistance. I sometimes found myself struggling with a certain road, so I would then choose another, resulting in a much easier trek. But I use the word easy loosely here, as this game is anything but. With 3 lives in tow, you have plenty of opportunities to make your way through Normandy, but the road is an arduous one for sure. You have an energy meter which doubles as fuel, although simply driving doesn't whittle down your health whatsoever, but does allow for you to equip a reserve tank, essentially doubling your life. The R icon will fill up your reserves, while E's replenish a little with each collected. Once your energy is exhausted, Snake explodes within his iron casket and restarts from a checkpoint. Thankfully, these are generous and in abundance, which only encouraged me to play a bit haphazardly, as I knew that I could soon be only a tread's crawl away from a new restarting point. There are also passwords to pick up from where you left off. You'll need them. The graphics are very basic, but they get the job done. I mean, they fit the theme of the game perfectly, so they're aesthetically adept. Same with the music. Nothing to get an Iron Snake over. It changes up when you're battling a boss and when rolling into a new area, but the tunes tend to blend in altogether, which actually mirrors the way that Iron Tank is set up, as there really aren't any stages. Sure, the settings change here and there, but with so many different branching paths and no real breaks in between areas, it feels just like one long continuous game. I kinda dig this, as it feels very different compared to what the usual standard was for typical NES titles. Along the way, you come across allies in need of rescue who will occasionally provide tips and receive calls from comrades offering information. In both cases, I found that this assistance was for the most part absolutely worthless, and ended up avoiding answering calls and liberating prisoners altogether. Without any real incentive to do so, why waste my time? War is hell, after all. Collateral damage, baby. Iron Tank is pretty friggin' brutal. Like I had mentioned before, the main challenge is adapting to the controls, because when things get hectic, maneuvering that gun turret all the while dodging enemies and bullets can be a hell of a pain. Not to mention the tank is a bit sluggish, so it's easy to get your ass zapped once baddies surround you like buzzards on Carrion. The bosses also offer a pretty hefty challenge, consisting of anything from near impenetrable walls to boats and even super tanks. Make sure to record your passwords, because I came across a glitch on one of them and had to practically start over. Damn 32-year-old games. Iron Tank surprised the hell out of me. It's a fairly common one, as I have pretty much seen it at every single retro game shop I've visited since its release, and never gave it a second glance until I picked it up for dirt cheap at a GameSwap last year. It's a lot better than I had expected. While it's nothing that will absolutely blow you away, it is a lot of fun and it's not expensive at all, so for its price, I say this one is totally worth playing. It can get extremely frustrating at times, and I'm not gonna lie, I cursed a hell of a blue streak many times while grinding my way through this one, especially against the final boss. But for someone who loves to shoot bad guys and blow shit up, I enjoyed it, and you just may too.